Hey there, Facebook community, Facebook audience, wherever you are. I'm just walking Lola. We just found a football. She's just kind of figuring out where that go, how to pick it up. I'm here. I'm doing a little talk on the gut-brain connection tomorrow at Newcastle for some government department. I can't remember exactly who it is that I talk for about my Brain Institute, which is a corporate leadership program, for a brain-based leadership program, and I go and talk about the gut and the gut-brain axis and the link between what goes on in here and what goes on in here. And it's a really common question, is how do gut instincts work, or is the gut the home of our intuition? And there's actually been there's been some degree of research on this recently, and this is St Leonard's. This is what's it called, Gore Hill. It's a new oval. It's funny, they closed it down about a year ago and they've just reopened it. They've spent like $6 million on it, and it's exactly the same as it was before, with a big new playground at one end, and it's no longer real grass. It's now like AstroTurf, which is quite a waste of money, really, in my opinion. Yeah, so I've kind of been researching or looking into how does gut instincts or intuition work, and I've found a few chapters in books that try and describe how it works, and no one really can give me a good answer. The closest I've got is from a book called The Mind-Gut Connection, by Dr. Ammon, I can't remember his name, but he kind of goes on, talks about that when we're born, when we're infants, the first few months of life at least, we have these very binary emotions. We're either full and happy, or we're hungry and we're sad. And so we get these signals from our gut. When we're full, we feel happy. When we're not, we feel sad. And somehow that develops into intuition or instinct. Intuition, he's saying. First of all, I want to differentiate between instinct and intuition. So instinct is like an observed, repeated behavior, like Lola will chase possums and cats or any small animals, and you can't keep her away. And even if she smells them outside of the car, she's trying to jump out of the car to get these things. That's an instinct. Intuition is, as Osho puts it, knowing beyond logic and reason. But there is also that, we tend to sense things with the gut, right? You get nervous and you feel butterflies in your stomach. If you're scared and you need to go to the toilet, there is definitely very visceral reactions to our thoughts in the gut. So we definitely, the gut definitely signals to us, or we feel what's going on in the gut probably before we feel what's going on elsewhere in the body. I need to explain a little bit first. The unconscious mind, as I've said before, the conscious mind takes in somewhere between 8 and 12 bits of information a second, and the unconscious mind somewhere between 2 million and 400 billion. So the unconscious mind is taking huge amounts of information, millions and billions of times more information in than your conscious mind is taking in. So the unconscious mind has much greater awareness of our surroundings than the conscious mind. The conscious mind is very selective with the information it takes in. Your brain is monitoring the position of every joint and every biochemical reaction in every cell of your body all the time. It knows exactly what is going on within you. The gut and the brain are connected by this big nerve, the vagus nerve, that exits straight out of the brainstem, doesn't go through the spinal cord. It kind of bypasses that. And it's like a super highway of information going between the gut and the microbiome that lives in the gut and the gut brain, the enteric nervous system, and the head brain. And it's about 90% of the information is going in the direction of the gut to the head. So the brain is picking up huge amounts of information about your gut all the time. It's also the times that the brain does send a signal to the gut, because most of the time the gut is doing its own thing. It's got its own brain. It's completely capable of functioning on its own all the time. It doesn't need the head brain at all. What the head brain does is it just informs it when there are other things more important than digesting food, such as you've got to run away, so dump everything, or if you're angry. There are actually different motor patterns or different motor programs that happen with the gut and the digestive system that are regulated by our emotions. So when you're scared, for example, every peristalsis speeds up, everything gets moved down. When you're angry, from your anus to your stomach, it reverses, it blocks up, and things from the esophagus down are moving down, so you end up with like knots in your stomach. So there are very different patterns that happen when the brain signals the gut that there is something that it needs to attend to, such as a dangerous situation, or whether you're happy and over the moon about something, having fun or whatever. The brain is signaling the gut, and the gut responds accordingly and changes the way that it's doing things. I do think there must be this super strong, like as I mentioned before, Eamon, what's his name, Doctor? Anyway, the author of that book was saying that we've got this very deep and old connection with the gut, because when we're young, we only have a sense of fullness and happiness, or sadness and emptiness and sadness. So we definitely, there's a very strong link between the gut and our brain and our emotions and our gut. Also, that a lot of neurotransmitters, or actually I think 95% of serotonin, 50% of dopamine, are all produced in the gut and by the microbiome. So again, there's a real strong link between the emotions and the gut, because the gut will respond to our emotions by changing what it does, and it's also the home of a lot of neurotransmitters which help us feel good, and responsible for our brain's reward system and things like that. So the way that I see it, the unconscious mind takes in these huge amounts of information from within us and outside of us. We will tend to notice the body's response to the unconscious mind before we consciously notice it. So the unconscious mind will signal to us in the unconscious mind talks in archetypes and symbols and images and stuff, but also in feelings. So we'll tend to feel the first messages that we'll get from the unconscious mind about something, and whether that's meeting a new person and you get a feeling for what this person is like, or whether it's a situation or something that you may feel good about or bad about. Remember, the unconscious mind is taking in billions times more information, and it's going to signal you through the feelings that you have in your body. One place you're going to feel that in a heightened sense is your gut, due to the gut having its own brain, the amount of nerves that are in the gut, the vagus nerve there. I think there's also this bit of a paradigm shift that needs to happen, which is the shift from this Cartesian mind-body split idea to one of holism, where there's a body-mind. I really like Dan Siegel's definition that I got from Paul Chek originally, but then from his book called Mind, A Journey to the Heart of Being Human. And he says, mind is an embodied and relational process that regulates the flow of energy and information. So mind is a process, and it's regulating energy and information flow in the body. The gut is communicating with your brain directly through the vagus nerve, and indirectly through the metabolites and neurotransmitters and hormones that are secreted into your bloodstream. So your mind, what you do with your mind, what you think and how you feel, is regulating this information flow in your gut and in the whole rest of your body. So I guess what I'm saying is intuition is not necessarily a gut thing. I think it's a body thing. We feel the culmination of all those billions of bits of information before we know why, before our logical mind has all the bits of information in front of us to make sense of it. We get it in a feeling, and it happens in our bodies, and particularly in the gut we tend to feel it, just because the gut has so many nerve endings. It's the second densest cluster of neurons in the body, next to the brain. It's next to the head brain. You know, it has incredibly complex motor functions, and we're gonna feel that a lot more. So anyway, I think that's it for me. I just wanted to share that because I was thinking about it. I haven't done a Facebook Live for a while because I've been in hibernation, making an online program, 12-week online program, which I'm going to launch on Monday. So that's exciting. Look out for that. And if you have any questions, if you want to know more about intuition, how you can use this to heal yourself, because a big part of my program is using your body and using your health challenge to actually get into your body and start to listen to intuition and use that to heal yourself, because your body always has all the answers, and it's only from not listening that we get into trouble with health. You know, we've been manipulated, I guess, by this over dependence on the intellectual mind. And what that means is that we're all walking around looking to the media or to doctors or to other people on what we should eat and how to fix this and how to fix that, rather than actually listening to your body and trusting that it has the ability to heal itself, and it does. Anyway, if you're interested in more, if this sounds like something you want to learn, just type yes in the comments and I'll spark up a chat with you. Hope you're good, people. I'll see you all soon. Ciao.